Hello, beautiful people. Welcome. Happy Monday, everyone. I am Brianna. I am the founder of this group, and if you aren't familiar with me, or if you're brand new, sorry, I think there's a garbage truck going out there, and it's kind of loud, and all my windows are open because it is a very hot day in LA today. I think it's like 80 degrees outside, so it's like so warm for November. It's beautiful. But if you're not familiar with who I am, I help teenage girls and young women end depression, anxiety, self-loathing, cutting, suicidal thoughts, all the things, so that they can really step into their power, their confidence, and start loving themselves. And so if you are joining me live, please let me know you are here so I know who is watching, and so I don't feel like I'm just doing a monologue here. So you can type in below live if you're here live, and if you are watching the replay, you can just hit, you can type in replay in the comments below so I know who's watching. So I wanted to do this Facebook Live on what is keeping your daughter trapped and struggling with her mental health. And I said, it's not what you think it is, okay? So what you think may be holding your daughter back is really not the issue. So you may be thinking that your daughter's problem is DNA. Maybe the issue is that, everyone in the family has anxiety, or everyone in the family has depression, and so it's just kind of passed to her, and so it's just kind of like, that's part of the problem. And that's not the reason that I'm talking about. I'm also not talking about mental illness. I'm not talking about genetics. I'm talking about the real reason that is keeping your daughter trapped and struggling with her mental health really comes down to the subconscious patterns and the subconscious beliefs that your daughter has about herself. And most likely she doesn't even know that it's there, okay? So let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about an average teenage girl who is struggling with anxiety and depression. Let's kind of walk through, what is a day in the life of a girl who is struggling with anxiety and depression? What does it look like? Well, having worked with and spoken to hundreds and hundreds of girls, I know what a day in the life of someone who is anxious and depressed looks like, right? They wake up in the morning and they don't want to wake up. They want to go back to sleep. Getting out of bed is like a nightmare for them. They don't want to go to school. Getting up to take a shower or brush their teeth or actually put clothes on is a nightmare for them, right? They feel like they physically can't do it. They almost feel like there's this dark cloud that's kind of hovering above them, right? This cloud of depression, this cloud of just feeling horrible and not having the energy to do much of anything, right? So if your daughter is struggling with anxiety and depression and she pulls herself together to go to school, then it's well, what does it look like when she's actually at school, right? That is an uphill battle as well if your daughter is struggling with her mental health, right? It could be going to class, sitting there, and there may be times where your daughter is feeling super anxious to the point of, I've heard from so many girls, it's they're having these panic attacks at school. And I'm well, what do you do when you have these panic attacks? And sometimes they're able to go to the bathroom and have the panic attack. Other times they can't and they have to sit through it. So they're sitting in class and they're literally going through a panic attack while they're in class. That is excruciating. So the whole day is a struggle. It's a big struggle. By the time your daughter gets home, she's mentally and physically exhausted and drained. It's everything that any little bit of energy she had inside of her is completely gone. Forget about, keeping up with her classes. Forget about studying for tests. Forget about even trying to pass her classes. There's nothing inside of her that wants to do that anymore because she's in such a dark place. And so this is what happens with a lot of girls who are struggling with their mental health. Let's get into what I want to talk about, which is the subconscious patterns that are going on with your daughter and she may not even be aware of them, and you may not either. You know, I call these subconscious patterns, they're blocks. It's almost like a big boulder that's in your daughter's way of living her best life. And so what happens with these subconscious patterns is it puts like, it's I'm not even going to say it's very hard. It's impossible for your daughter to change. It's impossible for your daughter to transform her life if she doesn't uncover what these subconscious patterns are, what these subconscious beliefs are. The subconscious is like way back here, right? The subconscious is, it's so like, it's not front and center, right? And so some of the subconscious beliefs are so programmed from way back when, like when your daughter was a little girl, right? It's being programmed. And so right now, your daughter, the way that she is living her life is completely connected to those subconscious patterns, that's the subconscious blocks that are standing in her way, okay? And so one of the things that I do when I work with my clients in my coaching program is we have to get to the root of what are these subconscious blocks? What are these subconscious patterns that are holding you back? Because even if we identify them, it doesn't mean that they like magically go away, right? And this is where like we have to go to get your daughter on the other side of this. Now, if this sounds like airy-fairy, if this sounds like something that's not necessary, it is actually, this is what is needed for your daughter to turn her life around. So I'm just going to give you an example of the subconscious patterns that are going on, or some of the limiting beliefs that are playing out in your daughter's life. So for instance, like one of the most common limiting beliefs that I hear from girls and young women that come to me is, I'm not enough, right? I'm not worthy. I hate myself. I'm a waste of space, right? Now, we have to look at, so when your daughter has these limiting beliefs, right? And this is all playing in the subconscious. This is literally gonna stop your daughter from doing the things that she wants to do in her life. If your daughter has a limiting belief, a subconscious belief that's in here that says, well, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, how do you think her life is going to play out, right? And this connects to your daughter's mental health, right? Because when we talk about mental health, and we're looking at so many girls are struggling with anxiety, depression, we've got cutting, we've got eating disorders, we've got suicidal thoughts, we've got attempted suicide. There's so much shit going on with these girls. And oftentimes in therapy, they're not really going over, okay, so what are the blocks that are standing in your way, right? Because here's the deal, even if your daughter starts feeling better, let's say she's been struggling with her mental health, and then all of a sudden she starts feeling better, right? But what's the longevity of that? How long is that going to last? Because if the subconscious patterns and the subconscious beliefs are still there, her feeling good won't last. And she'll go right back to the depression, or she'll go right back to the anxiety, or she'll go right back to suicidal thoughts or self-loathing. And for some of you parents who are watching this, I'm sure there have been times where if your daughter is struggling, that you've seen your daughter and maybe like you have this like glimmer of hope. You're like, oh my God, maybe like she's getting better, you know? And what happens? It doesn't last, right? Almost always it doesn't last if your daughter hasn't done this deeper work of getting to the root, of getting to the subconscious patterns, getting to the limiting beliefs that are blocking your daughter from living her best life, right? And so when these beliefs are just kind of swirling around in here, your daughter is going to come back to depression. She's going to come back to anxiety. She's going to come back to the cutting. Or maybe she'll do something else instead of the cutting to just relieve some of that, try to relieve some of that pain that she has going on inside of her, right? And so we really want to talk about what is needed for your daughter to have fast transformation. I'm talking about rapid results, right? And this is what I see from the girls who come into my program, because we tackle this like right away, right? Because we look at this right away, the girls who come into my program that put in the effort, the girls that come into my program that are committed, that do want to change their lives, are always the ones that have a massive transformation. But they have to want it, right? But they're the ones that are shifting their subconscious beliefs. They have to do this all day, every day. I want to give an example of something that I was thinking about today, because I went to the gym this morning and I was working with my personal trainer, right? I haven't had a trainer like for a long time. I started with my personal trainer in June of this year. And it's so amazing working with a trainer. But I want to share this example because I was thinking about this when I was at the gym earlier. So you can go to the gym on your own. And this is what I did up until just recently. I would go to the gym on my own, or sometimes I wouldn't even have the like motivation to do it, and then I wouldn't even go. But if I would go to the gym on my own, okay, then I go to the gym and I'm like, okay, so what am I gonna do? Okay, I'll do these weights. I'll do these dumbbells because it's the only thing I know how to do. I'll do this over here, and maybe my form is gonna be crap because I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I'll try to piece it all together and put it all together and try to get some kind of good workout going. Meanwhile, my form is off. Meanwhile, I'm doing all the things wrong, and I'm just trying to piece together something, but I don't really know what I'm doing. And this is oftentimes what we fall into the trap with when we're trying to help our daughter's mental health, right? We're trying to piece things together and just nothing is fitting, like nothing is working. And so what happens when girls come into my program and they have that coach, meaning me, right? They have that support, they have that accountability. I'm telling them exactly what they need to do. This doesn't work, this works, this is what we need to do, this is where we need to go, this is where you need to focus, this is how you need to shift your beliefs. What are you struggling with? Okay, let's get on the other side of it. This is what we can do. Are you practicing? Are you reaching out to me? Like, these are the things that your daughter needs. The accountability, the support, the coaching, right? And so it doesn't become some convoluted thing that's just like pieced together. It becomes, this is how your daughter changes her mental health. Going back into my example of me, you know, the old me going to the gym and just doing whatever, but not really knowing what I am doing and kind of getting a half-assed workout. And, you know, and it's like, it's kind of a waste, you know. And now having the comparison of now that I am working with a trainer, and I usually work with him like twice a week, unless I'm like out of town or something, but I'm seeing results, right? I'm staying motivated. I'm going to the gym more, and I'm not guessing like what to do, because I have an expert who's actually showing me exactly what to do and motivating me to do it. And because of that, I'm going to the gym more and I'm getting a good workout and I see like more change in my body. So we can try to, you know, with your daughter's mental health, we can try to do some of the things like go on YouTube and sure, watch, like show your daughter like a YouTube video. We can try to do the things like, here, you know, give your daughter like a self-help book and, oh, hey, Irene, and give her a self-help book and hope that she reads it. We can try to give her, you know, inspirational quotes and motivational stuff. And we can try to give these things to your daughter, and we can put her in therapy, and we can do this and we can do that. But are we just piecing these things together, but are they actually working, right? Because when I was going to the gym and doing my own thing, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and it wasn't really working for me, right? And I lacked major motivation too to keep up with it. And so what we have to look at is if what you are doing is not working, if it's not fitting for your daughter, and if you're not seeing rapid results and transformation, then something is off here. Something isn't working. And so one of the reasons, again, going back to the girls who I work with, one of the reasons why I see such huge transformation, my program is 3 months, right? But for the girls who come in and are dedicated and go for it and are like, and they want to change their lives, I see transformation. I sometimes see it in as short as 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks for those girls who are committed, who are putting in the effort. Now, for the girls who are dragging their feet, takes a little bit longer. Takes a little bit longer because they've got all of their subconscious patterns and programs going on in there, and those limiting beliefs telling them that this isn't going to work for them, and this is too hard, or I don't want to do this. And so they've got all of those beliefs, and I have got to work with each and every one of those girls and young women to help pull those out, rip those out, because they're not serving them. Those beliefs of, it's not working for me, right? A lot of girls have this old story. It's not even true that nothing's gonna work for me. And the problem with that is because a lot of girls have tried so many different things, and they're basing that one statement off of evidence from the past, because they look at their past and they say, but you see, it's true, nothing has worked for me. But then they keep carrying around that story that nothing is going to work for them. Well, in the past, maybe nothing did work for them. But right here, right now, we are in the present moment. And where I can take any of the girls that I'm working with, assuming that they want to change, is we're taking them out of this past story and we're taking them over here. They're like, what? We're going over here? And I'm like, yeah, we're going over here. And so many of the girls are like, but you don't understand. But I want to go over here, because your daughter has evidence in the past that feeds into the story that she has created in here, right? The story of nothing works for me is evidence from her past. Do you guys get this? And so what happens is I'm taking these girls, stop focusing on the past and let's focus on right here and where you want to go. It doesn't mean that we're not cleaning up and doing the healing work. We are. That's a big part of my program. We've got to do the healing work. We've got to clear out the trauma. We've got to clear out and heal from things that have happened in their past. So we're not glossing over that. So please know we dive in deeply to that. But here's the thing. We're not living in the trauma. We're not living in the past. There is a way to go there, clear it, heal from it, and then say, okay, here's where I'm at. And the healing is ongoing. It's a process, right? But at the same time, the thing that is often not done in therapy is helping giving these girls guidance on how they move forward in their lives, because almost every single girl who I speak to says the same thing. Therapy feels like a venting session. It feels good to get things off my chest, but it didn't give me that progress. I didn't change my life by going to therapy, right? And so what I do with these girls is I have to take them. So again, they have all of this evidence from the past, right? It could be years of evidence from the past that proves to them that nothing's going to work for them. And what I have to do is I say, okay, but here we are right here. And where do you want to go? Okay, this is the other thing that girls don't know how to do, especially girls who are struggling with their mental health and they're struggling with anxiety and depression. They don't know how to look forward. They only know what's back there. They only know the trauma. They only know the pain. They only know the wounds from the past. They don't know how to go the opposite way. Because you know why? They don't have a clear vision. They don't believe it's possible for them. Again, this goes back into the subconscious patterns and the subconscious limiting beliefs. We got to change that. This is what I work on with my clients. So once we start changing that, guess what? Then your daughter starts, okay, so I'm right here. I'm right here in the present moment. Okay, when your daughter's right here in the present moment, guess where we can go? We can also go into the future. This goes into, what does your daughter want? Right? What does she deserve? What does she want her future to look like? Right? She's got to have a clear vision. A clear vision is going to pull her forward. And if your daughter doesn't have a clear vision, guess what? Guess where she's going? She's going back. She's going back to trauma. She's going back to the nothing works for me. She's going to the I can't do this. She's going to all that limiting bullshit, right? And so she needs a coach who is going to hold her hand and say, we're not doing that anymore. You know, one of the things that I love that I do with my clients is like, I'm not here to be their best friend and I'm not here to tell them what they want to hear. And so sometimes some of the girls are like, they're like caught off guard because they're used to that in therapy. They're used to just getting their feelings validated all the time. And I have one particular girl in my program right now, and I'm not here to validate her feelings, and I told her that. I said, I'm here to coach you to where I know that you can go from here. So we're not going to sit here and validate your feelings forever, because that's keeping you stuck, and that's keeping you trapped in your trauma and all of the pain that you're trying to get out of. So I'm going to take you out of that by shifting your beliefs, by helping you shift your beliefs so we can start going this way, because we're not going back that way, right? And some of the girls are like, damn, right? When girls come into my program, they know like we mean business here. We're not messing around. Because I don't believe any girl who's struggling has time to waste, especially when we're getting into cutting and suicidal thoughts and suicidal attempts. I have parents who are coming to me whose daughters have tried to kill themselves. I'm talking days, a week before getting on a phone with me. That's some serious shit right there. So we don't have time to validate all the feelings and be like, oh, you poor thing, I'm so sorry this happened to you. They don't need that. You know what they need? They need a coach who's going to stand with them and say, this is what you can do. This is what I believe that you can have in your life. Are you ready? Let's do this. That's what I do for my clients. So this is why my clients are getting rapid results, transformation in a matter of a few short months. The girls who come into this and rock my program and are like super committed and putting in the effort, it doesn't even take them 3 months. I'm already seeing change within the first month, because this is what we do, right? And the girls have access to me during the week. So they're reaching out to me, they're getting the coaching, they're getting unstuck, right? So I just looked at the time. I'm gonna have to run. I do have a call with a parent and a daughter right now. So, but if this spoke to you, know that like your daughter can get out of feeling trapped. Your daughter can get out of the stuckness that she's currently in. And if you're not seeing that, Irene, hello, you're welcome. If you're not seeing that from what you are doing, then what you are doing is not working. And I know for some of you that might be hard to hear, because you've tried all the things and you just want it to work. You're like, but we've invested so many years in therapy, but we've done outpatient, we've done inpatient, we've done this and we've done that, and you don't want to give up on what you've tried. But I'm telling you, if what you have tried isn't working and your daughter is still struggling, then let's stop beating a dead horse with, what's that saying? Like beating a dead horse with, I don't know the rest of the saying, but I think you guys catch my drift, right? Stop doing the thing if it's not working, right? So reach out to me. I'm going to leave my masterclass below. It's called Healing the New Medicine for Anxiety and Depression. This is the work that changes the trajectory of your daughter's whole entire life. It really, truly does. But it takes your daughter working with someone that's not going to just tell her the things that she wants to hear so it makes her feel better about herself and her life. That doesn't help her move forward. It keeps her trapped in the trauma and the pain and all of the limiting bullshit that she says to herself every single day. Your daughter needs something that's going to advance her and move her forward. Remember, we're not going back there. Your daughter should not keep living in the past story, the past trauma, everything that she's been through. She deserves to be here so that she can start focusing on where she wants to go and who she wants to be. Because let me tell you this, your daughter deserves to step into her confidence. Your daughter deserves to step into her worth and her value and never settle for anything less than she deserves. Your daughter deserves to wake up in the morning loving herself, not feeling like she's being debilitated with anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts. That is no kind of life for anyone. And your daughter doesn't have to live that way. I'm telling you, there is another way. It takes parents to have an open mind, because parents who are, I'm going to say it, parents who are closed-minded, who think that there is only one way to get your daughter the transformation, my way is not going to work then. Because you have one idea of one thing that's going to work for your daughter. So I'm not the person that's going to help your daughter if you have that kind of thinking. But if you are open for a new approach, and I have to say this, your daughter has to want the help. If your daughter doesn't want the help, I can't help her. I can only help those girls who are truly ready and committed to change their lives. Reach out to me, private message me, watch my masterclass called Healing the New Medicine for Anxiety and Depression. I am on a mission to help save, like, I would say thousands, but I'm going to go with millions, because I have big dreams and goals for what I am here to do, right? And so I'm here to help change the lives of so many girls and young women. And so if this resonates for you, and if your daughter is struggling, reach out to me. Let's set up a call and see if this is the right fit for your daughter. With that, I gotta go. I'm sending you guys so much love. Mwah. Any questions, leave them below, or you can private message me. Okay, bye for now.